So now we're ready to head through Sen's fortress in order to reach Anor Londo. What we want to do is take the shortcut lift up into the Undead Parish. And then the run to Sen's fortress is right in the same room as the Undead Parish bonfire. For now I have to run. Eventually that is a warpable bonfire, but of course that requires obtaining the Lord Vessel before we can do that. So I've got no incentive really to engage any of these guys, so I'll just run past them. They may chase me, but whatever. So I'll go ahead and rest at this bonfire just in case there's an unexpected death in Sen's fortress. At least I'll be here and ready to go back. Sen's fortress is, of course, right here. And off we go. There's a bunch of things we're going to do in Sen's fortress up till the bonfire that we'll reach. I'm going to start by avoiding this trap. You can see the raised portion on the ground. I'm going to actually bait these dudes to come chase me, and then I'll trigger the trap to, well, this guy's kind of gone out of his way, but once they're in the middle, you can trigger the trap, and if with a little luck, it might kill one. So those guys hit pretty hard. At this stage of the game, with your standard non-Black Knight Halberd weapon, they take a lot to kill. I think it's 2 shots from the Halberd, unless you do the forward RT slashing attack like that will one-shot them. And there's a lot going on in here in Sen's fortress. You've got these pendulums over this bridge. You can get knocked down into a watery area below with several Titanite demons. We really don't need to go down there, although if you do get knocked down, the stairs down here in this corner lead to a opening with a ladder you can climb up. Ladder dumps you out by that soul item. There's actually an illusory wall at the top of the ladder you can break to get to another ladder to go up and kill the giant out front. He drops a standard Titanite chunk. I generally don't go out of my way to deal with any of that, but if I accidentally get knocked off, I might do it on my way back up. So just carefully run past these. There's a sorcerer snake enemy up there that shoots lightning at you. You want to be aware of him. I try to trigger this guy and then just use, my range of my weapon to kill him in 2 hits. And then run past this and make your way around. This is an annoying area up here because you need to run across this bridge. There's a safe spot in the middle of the 4 pendulums, but if that guy hits you, he can knock you backwards and then you can get knocked off by a pendulum. You certainly can try to kill him with a bow and arrow. It takes really a lot of hits. In my later playthroughs, once I have my faith leveled up, I'll hit him with a lightning spear from below and kill him. Usually takes 1 or 2 hits. In this case, I'm just going to, run across and hope to not get knocked into the pendulums. So there we go. And that is done. There's another trap on the floor right here. Go ahead and trigger it and let the darts come out. There's 3 of them. This chest contains a couple of large Titanite shards that you want to get. You will eventually need those to upgrade weapons. In this next section, you come to an outside area with rolling boulders. This first enemy will get hit by a boulder. I'll come out and finish him off. Then I'm going to make my way to the bottom, where I can kill a couple of more enemies and then talk to Siegmyer, who is stuck because he can't get past the boulders. Now it is required to advance his quest line about halfway in order to get the Emit Force miracle that is required for the Prayer of a Maiden achievement. So I'm going to talk to him out here, and I'm stuck. I can't get by these boulders. So I'll just talk to him a couple times until he repeats himself, and then I'm ready to move on. What I need to do is get to the bottom of this ramp, and as soon as a boulder rolls by, quickly run up to where I came from. I'm going to wait for the next boulder, and then I'm going to run up to the next opening on the left. There is a ring of steel protection in a chest straight ahead beyond that little sorcerer enemy. Not interested in it, so I'm just going to push on. I'm just going to sort of make sure he's not chasing me. Sometimes he does. And here he comes, so I'll just kill him when he comes through. In this hallway, you can see a trap platform. It causes... Oh, behind me. I was facing the wrong way. I usually just run through, but I decided that I was going to actually engage the trap and deal with it, and I forgot which side of me it was on. There's an enemy right on the other side of this that I'm going to bait back here. What I usually just do is kind of run past to my left, roll through this box, and then kill this guy from behind, but I try to do things differently, and like I said, I had forgotten which way the arrows come from. Okay, in this room, these rolling boulders. They've now been magically redirected into this run. What you want to do is run up here, and as soon as you get to this broken pillar, drop off behind it. Do a plunging attack to kill this enemy below. There's a soul item on the ledge here. Go in this way, and you'll come up some steps and see another item on the ground. It's going to be a outfit and the hush sorcery. You want to go ahead and grab that. And then head up these stairs, open this door, and then go across and down on the other side. And this will bring us to a room with a lift. You want to be careful. If you get on this lift now, it'll go up and crush you into some spikes, which will kill you. So as soon as it goes by, drop off and onto it. I mean, you're going to take some fall damage, but then get off at the bottom and heal. This chest is the first mimic that we will encounter. If you look at its chain, you can see it's not in a nice little circle on the side. It's a little more straight, and that indicates that it's a mimic and not a normal enemy, or not a normal chest. It also might be possible to position your camera to see inside and see that it's got stuff inside the chest that it's like the enemy. We're going to deal with that in a few minutes. What I first want to do is come over here, and these barrels will roll down and eventually fill up this little hole. And I'm going to let them come and fill that up. Once that hole gets filled with, I might have said barrels, I meant boulders. Once the boulders fill up that hole, they'll break through the wall, and beyond that wall is the covetous gold serpent ring, which increases item discovery by 300. I definitely want to get that because I'm going to hope to get this mimic to drop the symbol of avarice. It's a random drop from mimics, and it's a helmet that looks like a chest. And while you wear it, you get constant health drain. I'm not sure how much, maybe 5 health per second. But the helmet grants you 300 item discovery, which does not stack with the serpent ring. But it also grants you, I think, 20% extra souls. So I use that helmet. Basically, I'll put it on right after I kill bosses, because after you kill a boss, it takes about 15 seconds for you to get the victory achieved dialogue and for their souls to appear on the screen, at which point in time I'll always equip that helmet for the extra souls, and then just take it off once they're awarded. I'll eventually get the covetous silver serpent ring that I will use in tandem with the helmet for every boss kill in order to get extra souls. So, I can kill this, quickly kill this mimic, and he will drop, as a guaranteed drop, the lightning spear. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 4 Lloyd's talismans that I got in Firelink Shrine. When you throw one of these at a mimic, it kind of goes to sleep, and you can loot its loot for free. I went ahead and equipped the serpent ring, which I had forgotten to do, to raise my item discovery to 380. It did not drop the symbol of avarice. It only dropped its guarantee drop, the lightning spear. So what I'm going to do is wait. It takes about 30 seconds, and it'll go back dormant, and then I can throw another Lloyd's talisman and try to loot it for free again. And this way I'll get four more chances for that symbol of avarice above and beyond killing it finally. So I'll probably end up editing this out, as it's going to take a minute or two of really nothing. And then after I'm ready to kill it, I'll go ahead and pick up the commentary. Okay, so using my 4 Lloyd's talismans, I was unable to loot the symbol of avarice. So what I'll do now is simply attack it. And a few shots, it'll kill it. With any luck, it will drop that symbol of avarice helmet, it did not. And there are plenty more mimics in the playthrough that you can attempt to get it from. For now, we'll just have to push on without it. Take the lift up. Make sure you jump off immediately because it then rises up to spikes that'll kill you. And now we're ready to push on. From here, you want to look to the right, and you'll see a ramp leading up to actually the room with the contraption that controls the boulders. And this contraption can be pushed to redirect the boulders in 4 different directions. For now, we want to redirect it back down the path we came from. And that's going to send a boulder straight down the run. You'll see it damaged an enemy down at the bottom, and then it broke open a wall. Now you can let another boulder go, or 2 or 3, and eventually that enemy will get killed. After that, I'm just going to redirect it 2 more times so it's going the opposite direction and just off into nowhere. Basically, we need to have redirected that in order to allow Siegeward to get by the boulders that were stopping him from advancing down at the bottom of the fortress. Siegmyer, I'm sorry. He's Siegeward in Dark Souls 3. And now I'm ready to run down to where the boulder broke through the wall there. This guy took some damage, but he's not dead. So I'll go ahead and finish him off. Now in this area, a couple things we're going to do out here. First of all, and most importantly, Big Hat Logan is trapped in this cage. Since you have the master key, you can unlock it immediately. Otherwise, you would need to take a detour through the fortress to get the cage key. Unlock it and talk to him. He thanks you and tells you that he'll redirect to Firelink Shrine. So, we're done with him here in Sen's Fortress. This back cage has a soul of a hero, or I believe. That's worth maybe 5,000 souls, maybe 10. So be sure to grab that. I still have the covetous serpent ring equipped, that's why I'm moving slowly, so let me switch back to Havel's ring. And now we can make our way back up to the contraption room so that we can progress further. Boulders should not be flowing here. And from here, the boulders may or may not be flowing in this interior hallway. It's possible to run past the boulders up to the contraption room from here. You must have fast run and roll under 25% equipment load if they are. And then you have just enough time to run when the boulder goes by and to get by before the next boulder comes. But this contraption seems to get magically redirected sometimes. It didn't that time, so we were able to get up here with no problem. There is an exit through this wall right here. You want to head through there and be careful because there's a trap on the ground, so trigger it, back up and let the darts come out. And then head through this linear path. We'll eventually reach a bridge with 4 pendulums that we need to run past all at once. In this area there are a few enemies you want to kill, otherwise if you try to move on they'll chase you. First guy is there. Second guy is up at the top of the stairs. And then I do come down here and kill a third guy. I forget what is on that corpse at the end of this hallway, but I know I want it. Two more large Titanite shards now. Those eventually are sold by the giant blacksmith for 3,800 souls each. And if you are hoping to obtain the Knight's Honor achievement, you're going to need to upgrade about, I think, 13 weapons up to +10 to create boss soul weapons, and each of those upgrades to go from +5 to +10 takes, I think, 9 large Titanite shards. So you're going to need like over 100 of them in the end, most of which you're going to need to purchase, so every one you can find will reduce that cost by 3,800. You can stop in the middle of these, or you can run by all of them at once. It can be kind of dangerous as that enemy is shooting lightning at you as you're trying to get by. So try to quickly run past them all at once. Stopping in the middle could lead to problems. You see some kind soul has made an orange soapstone mark there that marks where you can stop in the middle. There is a trap on the floor here. If you hit it, darts will come out. As long as you're all the way against the wall, they won't hit you. And then you'll reach a fog door that leads to the exterior roof area of Sen's Fortress. You want to quickly run out to the left and take 2 sets of stairs up to a platform with an item. You can ignore that item for now. and drop slowly off this broken ledge to reach the bonfire, where we can rest. There's no reason to kindle this up beyond 5, because ideally you'll still have a bunch of Estus left from the 20 you started with. If not, feel free to kindle it up. We will essentially from here just explore the rest of the roof area before engaging the boss and then moving on to Anor Londo. So I'll go ahead and rest here, and now I'm ready to continue on. Okay, and here we go. Now you just head inside and follow the path. You can drop through a window on this side. Back to the interior of Sen's Fortress. It should look familiar. This is where the fog door was. You can now head outside. And now we're going to take a slight detour before we proceed towards the Iron Golem boss. I am going to quickly grab this soul item and then move on. There's a giant up at the top that throws, exploding bombs down on you. This zone is safe right here, but he can get you out there where the soul item was if you stop and dilly-dally. And then if we head this way, we're going to encounter a heavy knight at the end of this path. You see him there. I generally try to bait him into attacking and then just use my range to hit him. 2 shots and he's dead. He may or may not drop a large Titanite shard. He may or may not drop his armor or a tower shield. I think he always drops the large shard. You can come down this ladder. And around this path, you go up some stairs. At the end is a hostile NPC, Ricard. He is a 100% chance to drop Ricard's rapier, which I believe is one of the rare weapons needed for Knight's Honor. The only way to know for sure is to not get it and then go get it last, but you might as well grab it since it's pretty easy to get, and I believe it is required. There'll be some items in these chests. It should be a Divine Blessing and a Rare Ring of Sacrifice. The Divine Blessing is a one-time use item that cures all status ailments and fully heals you. The Rare Ring of Sacrifice will make it so if you die, if you have it equipped, the ring breaks and is lost permanently, but you don't leave a bloodstain. You don't drop your souls and your humanity. Eventually there's an encounter with Seath, one of the main bosses of the game, where you are forced to die. I like to just equip that ring there so that I don't lose all my souls. So it's good to have one of those rings for that. Let's backtrack to where we kind of made our way from the bonfire and now go the other way. You can see a bridge across here with a broken gap that you can jump across. You would normally need to jump across that gap. There's an NPC vendor in there that really doesn't sell anything important, but you could make your way down to get the cage key that you would need to unlock this cage if you wanted to create a shortcut down to the first long bridge in the fortress. I don't bother with it. Since we had the master key, we didn't need that cage key to unlock Big Hat Logan, so there's no real reason, in my opinion, to hassle with getting it. Now we're going to make our way across this little precarious bridge. There's an enemy at the top shooting arrows at us. As long as you get up to this part, it doesn't matter if he hits you, you won't get knocked off. It's possible to fall off here and not die. There is actually a way to drop down through part of the fortress that I don't think there's any need to go to. So obviously you don't want to go down there. Once we get into this section, there's 3 ways you can go. Through the fog door to the boss, across that path to summon Iron Tarkus, an NPC summon. But first you want to go upstairs here out to a little area with a giant that kind of goes crazy. You want to roll out of his way until he exhausts himself and falls down. You definitely want to kill him though, because if you don't, he'll continue to throw those exploding bomb things down at you while you're engaging the boss out here. He also drops a Titanite chunk. We ultimately need at least 7 or 8 of those in order to get all the upgrade achievements. So you can't guarantee having human summons here. There is one, but Iron Tarkus, like I said, is always summonable out here. So come across and I summon him just for the extra distraction. You are free if you'd like to summon more humans. I may or may not grab this guy if he's still there. I don't see him. So out here we're going to have the battle with the Iron Golem. It takes place out on somewhat of a precarious open area. It is very possible to fall or roll off or get knocked off of that area if you're not careful. Basically, I just sort of run out and kind of lure this golem out into this larger area. I think it's a little too precarious out on that bridge. He does have a pretty incredible range. I try to stay underfoot and then hit him a couple times. Watch out for his attacks. As long as you can stay under or behind him, you should be pretty safe. It's possible to hit him in his feet and stagger him, knock him down. Looks like which we've just done, so he's going to be completely harmless until we kill him. If you did get the symbol of avarice, quickly switch to it. You can see there's about 6, 8, maybe even 10 seconds before the souls are awarded for defeating him. That'll get you an extra 20% souls, which would get you 8,000 more from him. Free souls is always good. Once that's done, if you did have that helmet, make sure you take it off so it doesn't constantly drain your health. Examine this ring of light to trigger a cutscene that brings you to Anor Londo. Should now receive the achievement for reaching Anor Londo, and we're simply going to run through a linear path out into kind of an open area, and there's a room on the left that contains the bonfire. These sentinel enemies do not become hostile unless you get pretty close to them. There's no reason to engage these two, in my opinion. That chest contains a demon titanite that really is of no use to us. If you ever plan on using one of the boss soul weapons, like Quelaag's Fury Sword or such, you're going to need, I think, 5 demon titanite to upgrade it, maybe 10, I don't recall. You want to dip into this opening on the left, and you'll see the bonfire. I'm going to go ahead and rest there and level up. This woman is the fire keeper for this bonfire. You could talk to her if you so desired. From here, remember, I'm trying to level up my strength to 32. Not quite there. I'm going to go ahead and use my soul items. I do want to get my strength to 32. There's a extremely dangerous part coming up here with some knights on a precarious ledge that you need to get past. It may be easiest to have access to a shield. So now that I've got 32 strength, I can one-hand my weapon and be able to block with my shield. I may or may not actually end up needing to do that for this part, or at all, but there are certainly places in the game where being able to block, if only briefly, is beneficial, so I think it's worth getting the strength up to 32. From here, I'll pretty much focus on leveling up my vitality for more health, and maybe my endurance for more stamina and a higher equipment load. Once I get those to soft caps, I mean, we're talking like 40 or 50 vitality and maybe 20 or 30 endurance. I'll start probably leveling up faith so I can eventually use miracles, but that's pretty far off in the playthrough. For now, we're ready to just head from here and out into Anor Londo.